Right now you listening to
Innovative Black Station.
Innovative Black Station. Innovative Black Station.
The place where you can speak your
Mind.
Your mind.
Your mind.
Welcome to the Innovative Black Station. Today on the show, we got brother Lawrence Cain, financial advisor. What's going on, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. Now, what was your motivation to become a financial advisor?
Man, well, I'm a financial coach.
A financial coach, okay.
First and foremost, financial advisor. You know, you got to go through all these legal and tests that you got to do. So me, a little bit about myself. I was 18 years old. You know, born and raised in Cincinnati. I was 18. I was working 2 jobs. I had 2 cars, and I was getting my license. And I passed the test, but I went to go get the actual physical ID and didn't have any money. So at that time, I had to ask my girlfriend and my mother for gas money for the rest of the week because it was a Tuesday. I didn't get paid till Thursday. Gotta get to work. I was working in Amelia.
Okay.
So I had to get to work, and then I also had to get my ID. So, you know, I sat there that night like, I know that this is not how it's supposed to be, right? You know, I didn't have any kids. I didn't have a big amount of bills. So I'm like, this cannot happen again. So you fast forward, I went to school for business, and I had a class for a personal finance class. And I found myself really intrigued with, you know, the glossary. I started looking up definitions and how people set up certain accounts and how people retire early. And so I took an interest in that, ended up working at a bank for a couple of years. Then I went on to do financial aid and then went on to work in private lending. So I took all of those experiences and turned it into my company, Abundance University, where we teach people what it is that money can do for them if they use it the right way, if they build the right relationships, if they have the right disciplines. Because we're all disciplined. Some people been loving the Bengals all their life, right? No matter what happens, people going to love the Bengals, right? So you got to love yourself and love your family enough to have discipline to do the right things financially. So that's how it came about.
Okay. Now my question is this: you know, you said when you was going to get your license, you had a job. Now people think, you know, working a bunch of jobs is the key. Like, what is? Do you suggest, you know, working more hours? Is more hours the key, or?
I always say 2 jobs are for 2 people. I used to have 2 jobs, like I stated, and on the different occasions that I have, and it didn't get me anywhere, right? And most of the times when you work 2 jobs, it's usually jobs that you really don't like. Usually positions that you don't like. It's usually money that can't, you know, make you get to your financial success. So my recommendation is, you know, always go for what you believe in. You know, if you're at a job right now that you don't like how much you get paid and you don't like the actual physical tasks that you do on the day in and day out occurrence, you should start building towards getting off of that job, making the money you want to make, as well as doing the things that you love to do, right? A lot of people that are rich and on the Forbes list, they're not working jobs. They're doing things that they're passionate about. And passion can turn into profit. That's what I would recommend, doing 2 jobs, unless you got an actual plan on what you're going to use the money for, other than paying bills, because you don't want to just work 2 jobs to pay bills. But other than that, all you need is, you know, 1 job, and also you need a business, whether it's a home-based business or a business that you build in and you want to actually have a space for. That's what you need.
Now, what about, you know, we got those people that make excuses. What about those people that say, oh, I got to work 2 jobs, I got bills to pay, I got my family? What do you suggest to those people?
Well, you need to first look at your cash flow. So in our society, in our community, we don't have an income problem. We have a cash flow problem. So all of us go to work every day. You know, we get paid, but we have to really look at where our money is going. So when you say you got a lot of bills, you got to start looking at those bills and say, which ones can I cut? Which ones can I pay off faster? And make sure that I don't keep going into this cycle where I'm keep getting car notes. You know, I'm always paying the credit card bill. I always have a balance on my credit card. You know, for student loans, that's a big thing in our community, right? How can we pay those off faster? And make sure that our kids don't have to worry about going through that either. So setting them up, as well as working on our credit. And I feel like if you're doing a lot of positive things as far as your cash flow, your credit will grow, your savings account will grow. You need to be investing, and you'll be able to be more abundant, right?
Right. Speaking of abundant, Is it Abundance Academy?
Abundance University.
Abundance University. Now, y'all, I guess your statement is financial success happens on purpose.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So, if anybody has ever reached success, it's never been something that happened on accident. If you look at all of the millionaires, if you look at anybody that's invented something, they didn't get it by accident. It was a purposeful action behind them getting to whatever destination they were at. Look at Steve Jobs. You look at Oprah. You look at Michael Jordan. You look at LeBron. You look at all of these entertainers and athletes and these people who we view as successful people. They did certain actions each and every day to make sure they got success. And for us, financial success, it has to happen on purpose because it can't happen on accident. Even somebody that wins the lottery got to play the lottery.
True.
So it happens on purpose. It's an intentional action to get to a certain place. So we want to focus on making sure that now that we know that we control it, then we can start doing those things. And that's what we teach. We teach how to actually focus on your cash flow, how to make sure you manage the financial challenges. It's really 4 things that all of us have to deal with, but we need to learn how to get through it. First one is inflation, right? A lot of people hear that term and they're like, what exactly is it? We know it's the value of the dollar decreasing. So if you get a dollar raise, and that's only 3% of your salary, well, the value of the dollar decreases by 3% on average a year. So you technically, not even including taxes or your debt, it really didn't mean anything. You really technically didn't get a raise.
So every year the inflation goes up 3%?
On average.
Okay.
These last 10 years, it's an average of 3% decrease.
Okay.
So basically what that means is that, back 10 years ago, $20 can get you way more things than $20 today, right? Exactly. So that's inflation. The second one, of course, is taxes. Inflation you really don't see, right? But taxes, you see that every time. And as far as the way to maneuver through taxes, that's gonna be your biggest expense for your entire life. So the way to maneuver and actually be more tax efficient is setting up retirement accounts that are tax deferred, right? An IRA, a 401k that can grow tax deferred. Also, looking at owning a business, because no matter if it's a small network marketing company or it's a big business, you want a franchise, they both get the same tax advantages. Right now, if I got a home-based business, I can write off my cell phone bill. I'm gonna pay that regardless. Right. I can write off my internet. I'm gonna pay that regardless. You gotta have Wi-Fi at the house, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pay. I get to write that off, right? The square footage on my house, I can write that off. I live there. I'm gonna live there regardless if I have my business or not.
Right.
So your lifestyle is tax deductible. When you have a home-based business, and you can still work. Again, you can work full-time and build your business part-time and still get the full-time advantages.
Right.
So that's taxes. The third one is debt, right? We know that we got the student loans, the credit cards, the car notes, the mortgages, and any other thing you can think of that accrues interest. So the thing about it is we have to make sure going forward to not get into debt, not get into more debt, but actually pay it off and stay debt free as long as we can. That might mean, getting a $4,000 car instead of getting that, 2016, right? And some people you just got to sacrifice. And I don't believe in sacrifices. I believe in making calculated steps towards your goals. If your goal is to be financially free and live an abundant life, then buying that car to get you to point A to point B, that's just something you're going to have to do. It's not a sacrifice. It's something that you should be doing, right? So that's what that is. And then the fourth one is big business. See, a lot of people understand is that the calendar is really set up for you to purchase things at a certain period of time. So when you look at it, we're in April. The next holiday is Mother's Day. And, of course, our mothers are supposed to get stuff all the time. But, on Mother's Day, you're going to treat your mom to something different. You look at the next holiday as Memorial Day. Most people are off on Memorial Day weekend. You usually, you're going to Miami or Atlanta or Vegas or parades and barbecues, or you spending money and you're not really, you ain't making money.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at the next one after that, 4th of July. 4th of July, people off, they traveling, they spending money,
Mm-hmm.
right? The next one after that, Labor Day. And if you had kids before Labor Day, you got school. So you got to get them back to school fresh.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right? So then you go forward, you got Labor Day, then you got Halloween, then you got Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, you traveling. So all of this is set up. And then also with commercials and big business. You see all these Kia commercials.
Mm-hmm.
It translates to you see all these Kias on the road.
True,
but some people really didn't need the Kia, but they were like, oh, it's new.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the iPhones. They got the iPhone 7 about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Then you probably got the iPhone 6 Plus.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, man, I want the new one.
Mm-hmm.
We've been programmed to, we want new. We're attracted to new.
Mm-hmm.
Even if new will jeopardize our financial success.
Mm-hmm.
So those 4 challenges are things that we talk about when we have that conversation is how does it look for you right now and how can you get to over the hump as far as overcoming the inflation, growing your income to where it can exceed inflation. You can be tax efficient, and you ain't got to worry about taxes taking it. The more you make, the more they take.
Right.
It's usually with people that got jobs. But when you got a business, again, you usually get taxed last. Or
Right.
ain't no usually, that's actually what it is. You get paid, you spend, and you get taxed.
Mm-hmm.
A job, you get taxed, you spend.
Right. Now, you said the first that was about inflation, right?
All right.
How do you feel about California? They raising, I think in 2019, they raising it to $15 an hour. People really think that's a benefit.
Yeah, it's really not.
Is it a benefit, or is that $15 really gonna help people, or is it gonna make it worse?
I believe it'll help the people who make a minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you already are over minimum wage, what you should be focusing on is going after your financial goals.
Mm-hmm.
You look at people again. We live in an era where you can get on Forbes and see all these moves being made, right? We see Dr. Dre and sold beats, and we got Michael Jordan, the first billionaire. We see all their moves, but then when you at a job, they don't want you to discuss how much money you make an hour, right? So we live in this weird society where we can praise the people who make all this money, but in us it's like it's a crab in a bucket type of mentality. So for me, I stress that focus on growing your income, because the minimum is just saying if we can pay you less, we would.
Mm-hmm.
That's what minimum wage is.
Yeah.
If we could pay you less than this, we would pay you less.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, let's build. You can grow your money faster than you can really like budget and cut back on stuff. Again, we gotta have our cell phone.
Right.
We gotta have our Wi-Fi. Some people, they gotta have their Jordan. Some people, they gotta have that Starbucks.
Right.
It's hard for us as Americans to cut back. Right? But that's what we stress when we in a financial bound. Let's cut back. Not let's grow our income. Let's build a business and grow it, because you get paid by value, not by time. To go back to your point where it's working a lot of hours. You can be working a lot of hours and still be broke.
Right, yeah, that's definitely true.
So
you got 2 jobs, you still can't make ends meet.
You can still be broke. So I really stress growing your money regardless of where minimum wage is, because the maximum is infinite. So let's focus on that. I'd rather be closer to the maximum than closer to the minimum.
Exactly. Now you have 4 different key points that y'all hit on, correct?
Right.
Now with the class, do y'all do? I know you say is it once? How often is it?
Right now we're doing once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's free.
Mm-hmm.
So for people to come out, it's absolutely free. The next one is Wednesday, April 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Leave the weed at home. It's 420. I always make that joke. But that's my next one, and then I'm actually working on getting the May, June, July one already in the book. So we do it for free. I also have other people there that are actual financial experts. So the financial advisors, the people that do credit restoration, someone that does taxes. They come as experts, and they set up a table, and after I'm done with the actual presentation of Abundance University, then they can network and connect with the experts that are there who they need to connect with. So that's how we do it right now. And also I'm working on my Abundance University is gonna have a website and an online platform. It's actually gonna be a monthly club. It'll be $10 a month, but you're gonna get pretty much all the access to what we do at the live seminars. That'll be accessible online 24/7. I'll be interviewing the other experts that are on my team, you know, about advice and what we should be doing. I'll be doing a lot of, it'll be just a very cool, interactive online platform. So again, $10 a month, that's nothing. I mean, people spend $20 a month at Planet Fitness and don't even go to the gym. So.
You gotta reply to tweets, you gotta reply to Facebook messages, you gotta keep them engaged because there's so much flying at you, so much music being released. It's easy to be forgotten about. And so I encourage artists like, you know, message those who message you, appreciate those who appreciate you. It goes a long way.